Behind the cheerful theme song and the picture-perfect family dinners, the fictional series The Bennett Brood hid a backstage reality far more complicated than viewers ever imagined. While the show projected pure wholesomeness, the production world behind it churned with growing pains, artistic frustrations, secret emotional battles, and the intense pressures of turning young actors into national icons long before they had the maturity to understand fame. For 50 years, the show's glowing image overshadowed the untold stories of what the cast endured, but now, after decades of silence, those who lived through it are finally revealing how different the real world was from the sunny suburban universe the audience saw on screen. During a special filming trip to a tropical location in the show's 4th season, several of the teenage cast members found themselves experiencing their first crushes and awkward early romances while far from home. These were not shocking scandals, just the natural stirrings of adolescence, but the cast later admitted that growing up on camera blurred the lines between their fictional family roles and their real identities. The trip became a turning point. The teens realized how complicated it was to mature under constant supervision, expectations, and publicity. While the crew focused on shooting scenic episodes, the young actors were navigating feelings they barely understood. Tensions were not limited to teenage emotions. Two of the show's young actresses, tasked with playing loving, inseparable sisters, secretly struggled with rivalry and resentment. One received more fan mail, more magazine covers, and more storylines, which unintentionally pushed the other into the background. Their professional courtesy hid the truth that fame affected them differently, fueling insecurities neither knew how to express at the time. What the world saw as sisterly affection was, in reality, the product of rehearsals. Professionalism, and the pressure to deliver perfect scenes even when emotions behind the camera were anything but harmonious. At the same time, the series' lead actor, a classically trained performer, fought a private battle with the show's light-hearted tone. He had dreamed of theater, Shakespeare, and meaningful drama, not slapstick misunderstandings involving household chores and schoolyard pranks. Though he loved his young co-workers and valued the show's cultural impact, he also felt trapped between artistic ambition and the expectations of playing the ultimate television father. His notes to the writers, frustrations with scripts, and internal struggle to balance creative identity with job stability became a defining, though hidden, part of the show's backstage dynamic. The pressures of secrecy weighed on many cast members, but none more heavily than the actors whose personal identities didn't match the rigid societal norms of the era. The industry, far less accepting than today, forced some performers to compartmentalize their private lives in ways that were emotionally exhausting. They feared that honesty might cost them their jobs or public respect, so they played their roles with a smile even when carrying personal burdens that no one around them could fully understand. The dissonance between public expectation and private truth shaped many of their experiences. Being a child actor brought its own dangers. Production schedules were relentless, and safety standards were nowhere near what modern studios enforce. Heavy equipment hung overhead, props malfunctioned, and scenes involving animals or special effects sometimes frightened the young performers more than viewers knew. One actor vividly remembered a stunt involving a harmless but intimidating animal placed on his body for a scene. Though he completed the take professionally, he revealed years later that the moment had terrified him. Still, every child on set pushed through their fears in the name of creating television magic. Amid the chaos, the actress who played the mother figure became the emotional center of the cast both on and off camera. She was the one who kept spirits high during stressful days, cracked jokes when tensions rose, and always made time to listen to the younger actors who needed guidance. Her warmth created a sense of stability that the children relied on more than she ever realized. Crew members described her as the anchor of the entire production, someone who balanced patience, humor, and leadership in equal measure. As the years passed, some cast members found themselves wanting desperately to escape the shadow of their iconic roles. One actress in particular struggled to redefine herself, pursuing darker, more challenging characters in an effort to prove she was more than the insecure middle daughter she had played. Audiences, however, couldn't separate her from the role, and her frustration grew as every new opportunity was overshadowed by references to the past. The identity she had worn as a child became a cage she spent decades trying to break. Typecasting affected nearly every actor associated with the Bennett brood. Directors couldn't imagine them as anything other than the wholesome children America had grown to love. Some actors accepted nostalgia-driven opportunities, others withdrew from the industry entirely, seeking quieter lives far from cameras. A few spiraled into deeply personal struggles while trying to cope with lost opportunities, emotional wounds from childhood fame, and the daunting task of building adult identities separate from their characters. Several eventually found recovery and stability, but the journey was far from easy. In the years that followed, illnesses, personal revelations, and emotional reflections added new layers to the legacy of the show. Some truths emerged only after cast members passed away, casting their earlier struggles in a heartbreaking new light. Ultimately, the story of the Bennett brood is not just about a fictional TV family, it is about real people navigating an industry that demanded perfection while overlooking their humanity. Behind every smile, joke, and lesson of the week's storyline were individuals carrying private battles that shaped their lives long after the cameras stopped rolling. The show gave America comfort, nostalgia, and joy, but for those who lived it, the experience left a legacy of both warmth and wounds that would never fully fade.